Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Geeks and Around. I am your executive producer, DeAno Jackson. This is the beginning of our Walking Dead discussions. All y'all have been asking for it. Y'all been asking for it pretty much since we started Geeks and Around. It's finally here. We'll be running these for the entire split season, and then back at it next year. And then we're just going to kick things off right now with the premiere episode 301 called Seed. Before we get into that, let me go ahead and introduce everyone else. First off, joining me as always, co-host and resident geek Matt Moore. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just getting ready for another hangout right after this one.
Yeah, for those of y'all not in lows, for those watching live, today is Monday, October 15th, 2012. Right after we finish this one for The Walking Dead, about an hour later or so, we'll be right back at it for Dexter, because that's how we roll. 2 live shows, same day, for the rest of until one show goes off. And that's pretty much what it's going to be. Also joining us today, David Kude. What's going on, man?
Hey.
Oh, that's weird. It's like nothing else in your lower third. It just says your name. What are you, sick? I was expecting to see something else like Masser of Massive Destruction or, I don't know, do whatever bullshit you usually come up with.
Tangent.
Very weird. All right. Also joining us, as usual, it's like Seth Schmitz. What's going on, man, from Whatcast? How's it going, man?
Deadlines and more deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
Damn school.
Have you apologized for anything recently? I'm pretty sure that's a requirement for Canadians, right? You have to apologize for something at least 3 times a day.
I did apologize to someone because I look at them funny, and I did apologize for being American. I don't know why I did. They just made me feel really bad. I think they were actually American too, so I don't know how we got on the conversation.
Good enough. The judges.
International schools are weird, man.
I believe you, but it sounds like you're having a good time up there anyway.
Yeah, a classmate of mine was doing some research for her short script, and she decided it was a good idea to go to Google and Google public humiliation. And before she even got to the punchline, I was just laughing out loud, and no one got it. And then when she finally talked about what she found online when she Googled that, everyone was like, "Oh, how'd Seth know that?" I was like, "Hi, I'm a pervert."
Good God, it was like, oh, that's good. See, leave your safe search on, kids, unless you're ready. Don't rub the lamp if you don't want the genie to come out. All right, let's go ahead and get into the Walking Dead discussion. It's like, now what they did for this season is something kind of interesting from what they've done with previous seasons. Normally, like season 1 and season 2, time-wise, were pretty close to one another, but this time they decided to leap out in the future a little bit. It's like we're roughly 7 or 8 months or so away from where we left things off at the end of season 2. And I thought that was a really interesting tack to take because, it allowed you to see how the characters have matured and how things have started coming together. Like that first sequence when you saw Rick and the gang, they kind of seemed like a well-oiled machine. And hey, for the first season there ever, Carl might actually not piss me off. For the first time ever. Is he in the house? No, bitch, he's on top of the house with a sniper rifle. What's up?
Was that a silencer on his gun?
Yes, it was.
That was one thing that kind of bugged me. Homemade silencers don't last for more than a few rounds.
My thought was, where's Carl? Oh, that's right, sniping some motherfucking zombies.
In the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see, it's like he's kind of grown up. He's becoming a little bit more of a soldier. He's in there. He's clearing the room. He's doing that correctly. He's taking out walkers. Gone is the little fucked up kid we saw back in season 2. It seems like he has his head on straight right now.
In that opening scene, I thought it was funny because he found that dog food in the kitchen, and he started to open it when everyone was just sitting there, and then Rick came in, and got pissed off, and threw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, no.
Exactly. Also in the teaser, one thing that really cracked me up is that for the entire teaser before they showed the opening credits, nobody made a sound except for T-Dog. He got the only sound, syllable, anything of anybody in the entire teaser. And given that in the entirety of season 2 he had maybe 4 total minutes of speaking time, I just found that funny. It's like, he's the first person that spoke in season 3. There's a chance that his character might actually get to do something besides just stand around with a concerned look on his face.
Equal opportunity.
No, once in the first episode, once in the last episode. That's how it works.
Yeah, you got to give him, at least a little bit of screen time in there somewhere.
The problem is that he's the only black guy, so if he talks too much, he's out of there. He's going to get eaten by a zombie.
Yeah, if we remember he's there, the zombies are going to get him.
Right.
Oh yeah, so what you guys are saying, that he's been doing a smart thing all this time and just hiding.
Yeah, it's just a defense mechanism.
They should get one character with the red shirt on, and then him, and put them on opposite sides of the room, and then put a zombie in the middle, and see whether the black guy gets it first or the red shirt gets it first.
He hid from that group like the entire second season.
Yeah.
He was fine.
I know, right?
So Laurie's about to.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's kind of where the drama comes in, at least in the first episode, is that Laurie is quite obviously pregnant as hell at this point. And yeah, that baby, be it human or be it walker, is going to come out one way or another. And the simple fact of the matter is that they don't have a safe place to do this.
Or do they?
Exactly. That's when the prison comes in. It's like, now for Walking Dead fans, obviously, it's like I've gone on record saying this. This is kind of the season that all of us have been waiting for ever since, roughly the show was announced in the first place. But before we even get into the assault on the prison, I want to talk a little bit about the group dynamic right now and where things are standing. First of all, it's like, good Lord, it's like, there's not just a wall at this point between Laurie and Rick. There's a wall, a giant Great Wall of China with armed guards every 20 feet between them two. It's like, you can see, it's like, there's still some issues there. It's like that I don't think that Rick is entirely forgiven her for, and he's looking out for her, but he ain't trying to talk to her.
He's definitely taken charge, too, and I think the group's just kind of fallen into it. It's like, yeah, at least we're safe right now. Let's just keep doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. At this point, yeah. Rick's word is law.
Yeah, I found that kind of interesting. That's basically he did the if you think this is a diplomacy, you're wrong type of situation at the end of the last season, and people it kind of surprised me that people fell in line to that.
Yeah, it's like, especially people like Daryl. I think that's the one that shocked me the most, because like of all of them, he was kind of the outsider and whatnot. It's like, he did help the group out considerably, but at this point, it seems like Daryl, in a lot of ways, is Rick's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they really built up a lot of mutual respect, especially through season 2. So I think Daryl trusts Rick at this point.
Mm-hmm. I'd have no doubt, and like we were talking about earlier, even Carl is becoming useful. He's a valuable part of the team at this point. There doesn't really seem to be any weak links here, with the exception, of course, of the very, very pregnant Laurie. Well,
I found that
if she gets her leg up in the right way, I guess you could just launch the baby at a walker. I don't know.
I found it interesting that in the this has to do with the dynamic. In the assault, Maggie was with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Which she basically is one of the guys when it comes to that. She's shooting and firing, and for example, Hershel isn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, do you think that Hershel still is like, he knows, I think he's finally gone ahead and accepted the fact that walkers are dead and not simply sick. But do you think it's just he still has issue killing something that up until relatively recently he thought of as normal?
I don't think so, because you saw him when he was calling the walkers towards the fence. He was poking them in the head also.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's just an age thing while he's not out there on the front lines.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Because, if he trips and falls, I don't know, is slow, he could get bit.
Yeah, if something crazy were to happen, like he were to lose a foot or something like that, I can see how that's a problem. Good thing nothing like that would ever happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got a beard going now. That protects him.
Yeah. Hey, beards are magic. Ain't that right, Matt? You should know.
Yeah, it's like the
"Wait a second,
Proto
I'm
Men
the only
song.
motherfucker here without one. Well, that's
It's
all
like the
right.
Proto Men song. You just need to grow out a beard and catch some wind on it and fly above heaven.
I have to grow mine out to where instead of hair inside the beard, it's another fist. Me and Chuck Norris.
There you go.
I think Tim Shin has that. I think he's got the
Mhm.
beard.
Right, now also on the other side of the group dynamic is like you have Andrea, who's been separated from the main group for forever. It's been her and Michonne for this entire 7 to 8 month time period. And I was think about the time frames here. It's like, I mean, just in their world, her and Michonne have been together for a longer period of time than Andrea's been with the main group. Her and Michonne have been together for a longer period of time. So it's like, I mean, you saw in that scene where Michonne's going out and she's getting medicine for Andrea, who looks like she's knocking on death's door, to be completely honest. She looks like she has one hell of an infection. And Andrea's telling her, it's like, no, just get the hell out of here. It's like, I'm going to die here, and so are you. Just get the hell out of here. And Michonne's like, yeah, whatever, we're doing this anyway. Get your ass up.
Yeah, she'd caught the dumb slut at the beginning of the second season, and she made a partially recover, but it looked like she went into remission. She didn't go into remission between seasons, so it's back and trying to kill her.
Oh, geez, harsh.
Is it me, or was there not enough of Michonne and Andrea in this episode? I wanted more. I really did.
They could call the show Michonne and The Walking Dead for all I fucking care.
I agree. Though I can see why they made this change where Andrea's with Michonne now, because in the comics it's literally just Michonne just shows up out of nowhere while they're already at the prison. So this way it kind of gives them more of a reason to take her in when they've encountered the people that were trying to kill them in the town last season, and so on. So it just, for logic's sake, it makes more sense.
But here's the interesting factor in that. It's like when these two groups eventually do meet up, it's like, I mean, how willing do you think is Andrea, and especially Michonne, going to be willing to join this dictatorship? It's like right now it's Michonne and Andrea looking out for one another, and Michonne's always been, her badass Ronin self with her sword and doing her own thing. You think she'd be completely willing to just go and join this group, particularly given that the group abandoned Andrea 8 months ago? How do you think Andrea's going to feel about that when they finally interact with them again? I don't think
Andrea will be alive for that. I think Andrea will be dead, and the only thing left of her will be the stories of this group in Michonne's head.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dumb bitchitis is fatal.
So you think she ain't too long for this world? What, due to the illness or due to other factors?
No, due to the illness, and I think that Michonne will still show up to this group by herself, but she'll know who the people in the group are.
Yeah, if you've got pneumonia or like a really bad infection or something, or in this case, dumb bitchitis, aspirin isn't going to do shit but relieve symptoms. She's got to get something better, or she may not be long for this world.
I would consider that a valid point were it not for the previews, and we know they're both going to end up in Woodbury.
Maybe she'll die there.
She didn't look too sick in the previews. It's like the whole sickness thing was a relatively...
Who said anything about sickness?
What is like? She just gets like a stroke or something from the dumb bitchitis, eh?
Yeah, dumb bitchitis takes many forms.
All right, now let's go on, and the group is finally at the prison. This is kind of the set piece that, again, we've all been waiting to see. Looks like they were doing a hell of a job clearing that place out. It's like I like how much more of a unit they are now than when we last saw them, because they were hardcore and brutal.
Yeah, they had some good tactics going.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, Rick really knew how to deploy them quite well, very much to their strengths. And when it was obvious that, for example, that Glenn would probably be better at something than he was, he realized that Glenn would be even better doing something else. And so he went himself. Like, that's a lot of forethought there.
The dictatorship is fair. Tough, but fair.
Irrelevant almost.
I don't think we can do any episodes about the show without the term dictatorship now.
Of course not.
It has just become a Geeks of the Roundism.
Yeah.
In there was the first of two really good special effects that I liked, and that was the ripping off of the mask, where the skin came off too. That one was a really good effect, and also the head still breathing after Michonne chopped the zombie head off. That was another good one.
You just reminded me, man. It's like when I was watching the episode last night, and those fucking walkers came out in riot gear with the helmets. I'm like, well, that's just not fucking fair.
I thought that was great, though not very realistic, because you think the cops would have just like kind of died with those helmets on. Seems kind of unlikely.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, how are they going to bite you with the visor down?
They weren't torn apart by zombies. They obviously got sick and died.
When I'm sick, I put on full riot gear. I don't know about you, but it's the only way I can feel safe when I have a fever.
And I do see your point, David. There's only so much realism I can honestly expect from a show about people surviving in a zombie fucking apocalypse.
Yeah, or even a regular
but
zombie
I do see your
apocalypse,
point.
minus the porn.
Well, you'll be sorry when it really happens.
Well, it's like, hey, it's like, at least now it's like, I mean, I consider this training. We'll all know what to do.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's made me reconsider. I was thinking that if a zombie apocalypse were to happen, that I'd go directly to El Toro, but now prison actually does sound kind of good.
Yeah, it's a good plan once you clear it out.
Yeah,
they keep people out as well as they keep people in, which is not 100% success ratio, but against mindless zombies or the minorities in prison, it works pretty well.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, something else that kind of had me laughing a bit. My man Carl, not only is he getting better with a gun and learning how to clear rooms and whatnot, but it seems like he likes the older ladies.
Oh yeah, blondes too.
I know, he was in a line. It's like, hey, how you doing?
It's hard to tell. How old is she?
Huh?
It's hard to tell. How old is she? She's
it got
what,
me.
15?
Yeah, like early teens,
Mm-hmm.
maybe mid-teens.
And
that's kind of pushing it.
Yeah, it's something like that, but it's like still, it's like I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, Carl, you are trying to hit that." Go on, man. Okay. And then Hershel come on in and cock block them.
Yeah, for the first time ever, I felt like I could relate to Carl.
Exactly. Yeah, so again, slight chance that Carl might not work my fucking nerves every single episode. But it seems like Lori is still going to do that for me. I knew I could count on her. Because,
well, if we're lucky, her baby will come out and eat her.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead remake.
It's funny that she brought that up when I think it's been at like the request of fans ever since they found out she was pregnant.
Exactly.
that a zombie baby claws its way out of her.
Yeah, but it's like that would just be a tease.
I think it might be the greatest scene ever.
It would be pretty fucking funny. I will concede to this.
It would be one of the brighter moments in television history, killing like one of my least favorite characters very graphically.
Mm-hmm.
They could go sci-fi with it and make it to where that kid is like the cure to all zombieism.
Or just zombie Jesus and they have to crucify him.
Yeah, if they
or he'll come back.
That'd be awful if they did that.
I'm with David here. That would be like just so fucking just bullshit. Bad, right?
Like it's born with an immunity, and of course, it's something with an immunity you can build a virus off of.
Yeah, this isn't a crappy Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty much pulled from I Am Legend, huh?
What next? They're gonna have to strangle a German Shepherd. And I don't mean a dog. I mean an actual like swineherd from Germany.
Seems totally legit. Yeah. Something else that I found interesting later on in the episode is like Hershel almost becomes a casualty. Is like, I mean, I honestly thought when he got bit, is like, oh damn, he's fucked. And then, in a little bit of a swerve, particularly for those who are familiar with the Walking Dead comics, they go ahead and chop off his leg to prevent the infection going to the rest of his body, which is in the comics. That's what happened to Dale, isn't it, Seth?
Yeah, that's what happened to Dale. I believe I had mentioned when Dale died that there's a couple pretty big events with Dale later on, and I'm not sure how they're going to handle him now that he's not around. My money, I didn't want to say anything about this particular one to spoil it for people last season, but my money was actually on it happening to Hershel instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Old white guy, whatever.
They brought that up on The Talking Dead afterwards, that that the directors want to like change up stuff like that happens in the comics with different characters to keep the readers on their toes.
Well, I think it's a fantastic idea because it completely caught me off guard. I did not see that coming, and if it was Dale, I would have definitely seen that coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's cool that they're switching things around and changing things up so that both complete newcomers to The Walking Dead and those of us who know a little bit are still kept on our toes. It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, they're managing to keep things fresh because even though it's honestly what I guessed what would happen, I was still like, oh yes, I was right. Gratification.
And it was pretty visceral too. It's like they did not shy away from it. It's like this leg is coming off. Clock, clock, clock. And even that did kind of amuse me because I was like, didn't I just chop off somebody's leg in the Walking Dead video game from Telltale Games? Like, I sure did.
You sure did.
I sure enough did.
I just finished playing episode 4 over the weekend.
Ooh, it's like if Matt had played it, it's like I would actually be willing to talk about that.
Dang.
But, it ain't right. I can't spoil this one for you. It's good. For those of you watching that are not familiar with it, for Telltale Games Walking Dead series, it is excellent. And it's available on practically everything. Pretty sure it's even on iOS now. So iOS, PSN, Xbox Live Arcade, and Steam. Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's it. But yeah, it's not even that expensive. I really enjoy the writing specifically for them.
Mm-hmm.
$5 an episode or $20 for a season pass.
Yeah, but I think the season pass thing only applies to PSN. I don't think you can get the season pass on XBLA. Can you get it on Steam?
I know I have the season pass, but that might have been a pre-order thing. But they might still sell it. I'm not sure. Let me open up Steam, and I will tell people before we finish broadcasting.
All right, cool. But definitely, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, The Round does recommend checking that out. It's like, I mean, for an episode that where really a lot happened, it's like, okay, oh, yeah, the other important thing that happened, looks like the prisoner has some actual people left in it.
Oh, yeah, closing scene.
That's exactly where I thought they would end this episode. I don't mean to continue to toot my own horn because it's like so self-gratifying, and I think you can actually get arrested for self-gratification in Canada. But
especially on camera.
Yeah, I specifically said to myself when I started the episode, I think they're going to end when they go into the commissary and they find that there's live prisoners there.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing that I'm kind of curious about is like which ones are directly from the comic book and which ones are a little bit different than what we've seen. Because, like, I mean, we knew there were survivors in there. For those of us that have been reading comic books, we know this, and this group and Rick's group, there might be a little bit of tension here, just a little bit, but it should be interesting watching it play out. It's like I just kind of want to see what they did. It's like the funny thing is like I already know that they changed the names of one of the characters.
Okay.
Well, they changed it. It's like one of those guys in the comic books. His name is Dexter. Can you imagine why they changed his name so it's not Dexter anymore?
I have no idea. An hour and 35
They don't want to insult enthusiasts of the children's cartoon?
Just tune in about an hour and a half to find out.
Right back here on geeksitaround.com.
So yeah, the season pass is for the Telltale Walking Dead game is still available. You actually can't buy it episodically on Steam, and it's $25. So it's
20
cheaper than a AAA.
What, 20 what? 20 what?
25 on
25
Steam.
bucks for the season pass?
Yeah, for the season pass for The Walking Dead.
If you have PSN, get it on PSN. It's only $19.95.
If you were smart enough to pre-order like me, it was only $15.
Oh, well, there you go then. All right, so here, all right, wild speculation time. It's like, so it's like, where do we see this going? It's like, I mean, we know from most of the previews that Andrea and Michonne are going to end up in Woodbury somehow, likely going to get captured. And with Andrea and her condition, it's pretty easy to see how that's going to happen. But in the meantime, it's like for Rick and his group, how do we see this playing out? They just met this new group in the prison. Rick's group is tight. You know, they've got their vibe. And now here's this whole new group. It's like that they put all of their hopes in this prison, into having this and it being their safeguard. And now there's these people already in there. So what happens now?
I thought it was interesting. One of those prisoners had a gun when in the little standoff with Daryl.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Okay.
So I'm going to guess that nothing's going to happen between those two. At least not. They're not going to go kill each other. At least not now.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. And it's like, and it's also fairly obvious that the group in the prison, I mean, you know, with the being prisoners and all, they haven't left the prison and, you know, since all of this began. So it's like, I mean, they might think that this is just something that's affecting them. What's going to happen when they find out? No, guys, here's the thing. The world is fucked.
I think, well, I haven't read the comics, so I don't have a lot of basis. But from what I understand, I think that there's going to be probably words, if not rounds, exchanged between the two groups. There's probably going to be a discussion of whether or not to just kill these motherfuckers. Pardon my language. Because they are convicts, they are criminals, and this isn't the Telltale Games version of The Walking Dead, in which you play a convict. Spoiler alert.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I don't know. I think it's going to get very tense, and they're probably going to do absolutely nothing for the next 4 episodes or so, just because that's how season 2 happened.
Don't even say that. That's the last thing I want. It's like oh man, it's like, whoa, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Hold on, let me pull everyone back in. Huh. Okay, I actually legitimately have no idea what just happened there. I might have to go ahead and end this thing out. It's like, whew, hang out to having issues. Well, let's just go ahead and see where we stand on the rest of everything else that we have going on here. Let's see. You have Michonne and Andrea off on their own. You have Rick and his crew, and somewhere out there working in the shadows, like there's still the entire Woodbury scenario. That definitely is going to start coming into play eventually at some point. We're going to see that very soon. And good God, this is craziness right now that's going on in this hangout. So having absolutely no idea what's going on, it seems like a pretty good time as far as anyone else is concerned to go ahead and drop off. So For those of you that are still watching, my name is DeAno Jackson, executive producer of Geeks Around. Be sure to catch us back here next week. Hopefully we'll have no issues like we're having right now. We'll be on geeksaround.com. Also, if you go to geeksaround.com, earlier today I did an interview with DeAno. Can't pronounce her last name. She plays, of course, Michonne on the show. We sat down with her for a good 15, 16 minutes, something like that, and had an interview going on, so definitely check that out. Also, later on tonight, we have the Dexter Hangout with Matt Moore. I have no idea what's going on. We have the Dexter Hangout going on. That should be a lot of fun. Catch us back for that. In the meantime, we will see you guys next week right here on geeksaround.com. Bye now.